Welcome back to the video. This video is part of a video series that shows how to draw a conduit in AutoCAD MEP. All right. Okay, let's get started here. Okay, let's see. I just got this started up. Turn ortho on. Turn the grid off. Escape, escape, escape. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a drawing from a template. So let's go here. Open, and I'm going to go to my conduit folder. And remember we created that template on video 15. Let's open that template. Here it is. That's our template. Now we're not going to draw on the template. We're going to save this as drawing. Okay, we're going to call it conduit. Let's call it 016 space 120 volt. So this is conduit 016 120 volt. I think this is also video number 16. So let's say save. You'll notice when you open it, everything is loaded. All your XREFs, look down here. They're all loaded, right? That's because we saved it with them all loaded, okay? All right, let's get into drawing some conduit. That's what we're here for. All right, let's go into your Southwest ISO view. I like doing it this way. There are many ways, but this is just a way. It's not the way. Just keep that in mind, okay? All right. Well, usually in drawing conduit, we like to, we mount it to a piece of strut, right? Or, yeah, a piece of 7/8 strut or 1.5 inch, right? So let's do that. We're not drawing any unit strut right now, so let's just do this. Type in PL, hit enter. And we're going to draw some drafting lines, temporary lines, in other words, okay? If you're into the drafting world, they're called drafting lines, right? So we're going to click that right there on the corner of the panel now, because we know that that corner of that panel is right against the wall, okay? So we're going to pull that out. Doesn't matter, any random distance. Now, when you pull away from the wall, that matters. Type in 1.5 inch on your keyboard and hit enter, okay? You'll notice that it locked in at 1.5 inch, and then we're going to pull it all the way to the other side of the panel. Click once, escape 3 times. Okay, so we got that established, right? We know that that's a strut right there. Okay, or at least the face of the strut's right here. Okay, now I also don't want my conduit too close to the edge of the panel, right? I want it a little bit away. So how about let's do 1 inch. So once again, we're going to draw a temporary drafting line. PL, enter. Click that, pull away from the panel and over. Now that's it. This is the critical dimensions. Remember, I want it 1 inch. You can make it 3/4, whatever you want. All right, 1 inch. And we're going to pull that back. Click once, escape, 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 escape. That means the conduit will be right in here. That's where we want it. Okay. All right. Everybody knows how to do this, right? Let's go to conduit. Click on your conduit command. Make sure this guy comes on, and let's go here. Click and pull up, and we're going to type in 36. Enter. All right, yeah, escape, 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 escape. All right, well, the center of that conduit is kind of like right on the face of our strut, or right at the face of 1.5 inch. We don't really want that. That's not going to work, right? Okay, so does anybody know the diameter of the conduit, a stick a half-inch conduit? All right, if you don't, go do this. Open up your internet browser, and in the search line, type in Wheatland. That's a conduit manufacturer, EMT dimensions. Okay, because I found that the Wheatland dimensions are very close to the AutoCAD one. So let's go here. Oh, look at this. I got this beautiful catalog. Wow, look at all this. Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, let's zoom in on this. Look, right here. Half-inch conduit. Outside diameter, 0.706. What's 0.706 divided by 2? I don't know. Well, I'm going to find out. It's 0.353. Okay, all right. Let's put this aside and put that aside. Okay, so click on this pipe. Remember, make sure your ortho is locked down here. Type in move, enter, and what was our number again? 0.353. Enter. Wow, we just moved the edge of that pipe to the edge of this unit strut, or to 1.5 inch, right? Okay, so what we need to do is we can move it. Now we want to move this conduit so that this outside edge is right here, right, right on our line, because our 1 inch line. We don't want it to be any closer than 1 inch to the edge. That's not a rule or anything. It's just what I want to do. Okay. All right. So let's do this. So how are we going to do this? There's many ways to do this, but I'm just going to show you one or two. Okay. Let's click on highlight the pipe, type in move. All right. Hit enter. Okay. Now we can select the base point. Okay. Now sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but right now it's working. So click on the base point, and we're going to move this thing. Right. I don't know. I don't want to just eyeball it. That's just not going to work. That doesn't fly. All right. Hold down the control button. Press the right button on your mouse. And let's go perpendicular. So as we move, any line that we're perpendicular to is going to give us the target, right? See that? So let's click on that right there. Boom. Oh, yeah. I like it. So right now we are, let's go to the top view. Top view, look down, zoom in on that. Wow, look at that. This edge is at the face of the strut, and this edge is at my limit line, my 1 inch line right there. Yeah, okay, that's one way. Let's see if we can do it another way, all right? So let's come back here, and I'm just going to move this any random number. So type in move, all right, M-O-V-E, enter, and we're just going to move that back, I don't know, 8 inches. Let's just do that, okay? All right, so how can we move? We already moved it this way, so I'm not going to show you that again. But how can we? One other way to move it this way. Let's say this area is really cluttered, and you can't get in here, or to do the perpendicular, or the line's not perpendicular, or some other. We have some other issues, right? Okay. So highlight your conduit, type in move, M-O-V-E, enter. Now, which way are we moving it? We're moving it in this direction, the X direction. All right. So let's lock that in. Dot X, enter. Okay. All right, dot X of what? Dot X of this corner. Going to where? The edge of this line. Boom. Click, click. All right, escape 3 times. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's look at it from the top view just to make sure. Okay, everybody go to the top view. Zoom in. Wow. So that's 2 ways. There's actually more. But you know what? We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, all right? Yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a few different ways to do this. All right, let's go back to that Southwest isometric view, everybody. All right, let's click on that pipe. All right, let's look at this. It says E-conduit standard. Well, we're drawing in the 120 volt drawing, and this pipe looks yellowish or something. You know what? How about a blue pipe? Yeah. Oh, and remember, color by layer. We want everything by layer. That's kind of important. All right. Well, I don't have a blue layer. Let's type this command in. L-A. Okay, hit enter. Whoa. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Right now, the current layer is 0. So we are drawing in layer 0. Okay? We kind of like that. But here's E-conduit standard. Look at that. That's down here. Okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to create a new layer. How's that? Let's do that. Let's create a new layer. Okay. Let's click right here. See this thing here? It says new layer. Click on that. Boom. All right. Now here's a layer. It's called layer 1. We're going to copy this. Right? E dash CNDT dash STD dash 120 volt. So we're creating a 120 volt layer. And I want the color. How about this color? I don't know, this baby blue. Let's click on that. We want that. Oh, it's called cyan. that color is cyan. Now, whenever you put something in this layer, this E-conduit standard 120 volt layer, it's going to assume these properties. The cyan. The line type is going to be continuous line. Line weight, 0.18 millimeter. You can make it big fat lines or whatever. Right now, what's this up here? This is transparency. Okay. Now these things over here will come into play later on. The plot style, plot, no plot, or new. Okay. See, some of these things don't plot. Okay, or print. Okay. Now, what we want to do is leave it in layer 0, and then we are going to close this. All right. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Now, that window is also up here, right? We're in layer 0. Let's highlight this pipe. All right. And look over here. I guess that one other window went away. Come over here, and we're going to look at layer. Look at that, E-conduit standard. Well, we're not standard anymore. We want that in our E-conduit standard 120 volt layer. So click on that. Whoa, look at that. The color just went blue. Yay, I like that. All right, so now when you click on the pipe, it's going to tell you Conduit standard 120 volt. So in your model, when you're doing coordination or whatever, or you're way out in the field and there's a gazillion things going on, and you see a conduit and it's doing something that's not supposed to do, and well, everyone's like, what is that? Well, you just click on it and it'll tell you Conduit standard 120 volt. Now you could also put descriptions in there and the systems and the routing, and give you a lot of information that you can say, okay, that's my conduit, I'm going to go back and fix it, or that's my conduit, you need to get out of my way. All right, so let's do this. All right, so now that you've drawn your conduit and successfully changed it to a different layer, man, that's an achievement right there. And you created a new layer. Oh man, we're really cooking. All right, let's come on in here. Click this, type in copy, C-O-P-Y, enter, and make sure your ortho is locked so that everything stays in line. And we're going to go, just pull it to the right, type in, we're going to make all our conduits 2 inches on center. So type in 2, enter, 4, enter, 6, enter. Let's go one more, 8, enter. Okay, wow, look at that. Escape, escape, escape when you're done. Oh, look at that. Well, I kind of like that. Yeah, how about we look at it real quick? Let's change our visual styles. Ooh, yeah. Hold down the shift key, hold down the center button, roller wheel of your mouse, and roll that thing around and admire your work. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. All right, enough fun. Let's go back to 2D. Is that what it is? 2D wireframe, and we're going to go back to Southwest isometric. Okay? All right. What are we going to do? Well, I'm going to make some 90s here. I'm going to draw some conduit. Let's get going. Click on that arrow, pull it out this way, and type in 36, enter. Notice it's not in the same layer, but we'll fix that in a minute. Do the same thing with this one. Pull it out, 36, enter. Same thing with the number 3. Pull it out, 36, enter. Right? Wow, look at that. Now, how do we put them all in the same layer real quick? All right, just type in MA, enter. Okay, MA stands for match properties. Click on the one that you want, all right, and then select everything else that's not in that properties. Just click on it. All right, escape, escape, escape. See the paintbrush? Right, let me try it again. MA, and click on that. Notice that paintbrush? Whatever you touch is going to move into that layer, or yeah, and assume all those properties, right? Okay, escape, escape, escape. Okay. Let's have some fun. All right, yeah, we've been working real hard. All right, so highlight that conduit, click on that plus sign. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to draw 90. We're going to take off in this direction. And let's make that a 5. No, we're going to go down to the electrical room, right? Let's make it about 8 feet, I think. 8 feet, that's a good number. Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's a good number. 8 feet, okay? And let's look at the, well, we're not going to do that. Well, we know that our spacing is 2 inches. So you could pull that out 2 inches, and type in 2, hit enter, then go this way, and then type in 8 feet, right? But of course, the ends are not going to line up, right? Because this conduit is set back 2 inches, or actually more than this one, right? So how do we fix that? All right, what you do is you grab this, grab the pointer, and say, well, what do I want to run it up to? I'm going to run it up to the end of that pipe, right? Well, you could also run it up to some other object. Let's say I want to make it only as far as the edge of the transformers. I'll click that, right? See that? Or I can make it to the edge of the room, right? Well, now we were pretty close, huh? Wow, why? Well, that means we're going to be out of the room if I match this conduit right here. How do we know that? Well, let's go to our overhead view, top view. Look at that, right? Pretty good, huh? Well, you could do the same thing here, right? Grab this, pull this back, boom, that's in line with that, right? All right, let's not do that. Let's bring that back out here to this guy, okay? Now, so this guy, we can go add 2 inches. No, we added 2 inches to that one. This one, okay, so now this one's going to get a little different, right? So this one we're going to add 4 inches, but we're going to do it a different way. If you add 4 and made a 90, you'd be good, right? But you could also do it this way, all right? Type in COPY, enter, and go down, hit 2 inches, type in 2, enter, right? Now, look at this. Click on this, click on this, click on that, accept. Right? Now we know all these conduits are spaced 2 inches apart, right? All right, let's go back to our Southwest ISO view and continue the fun. All right, yeah, man, we are jamming. But notice everything's, they're different colors, right? So we could do it at the end or you could do it now. So let's do it now. Type in MA for match properties, enter. Pick the color that you want. All right, now once you see the paintbrush, paint everything that you want to change into that layer. But be careful. Don't touch this line or any other thing, otherwise you'll change the color of it. All right, everybody, let's save our work. Control S, and that'll do it for this video. I'll catch you on the next one.